Right guys, so today we're going to talk about the new version of TripRadar, version 2. And do we think it's any good? Well, this is my opinion, and don't forget these are purely my opinions, other people have other opinions. But the original TripRadar, I weren't very keen on it. Flashing up all the time, distracting you, having to click on the X in the corner all the time to get rid of it so you can see the map, see if it's surging. And the information on there, all you got were the postcodes and the distances. So unless you were really 100% sure of the postcodes, you could end up with a job you don't want. So, you might get a TripRadar one £4 summit, got the postcodes, you click it, then you realise it's going up to Aldi at probably busiest time of day. So you're going to spend ages getting in, getting parked, loading up, getting out. Then you got one load at the other end, all for £4.50. So is it worth it? If you could have seen where it was going from and to, you probably wouldn't have accepted it. So this new version, it allows you to cherry pick a bit more, which you need to be doing all the time. You need to cherry pick all the best profitable jobs. So if you get one for an area you don't really want to go at a particular time, once that flashes up now, you can see it. You can oh yeah, I don't want to go there. Just ignore that one. Whereas before you'd accept it and then you'd find out afterwards. So it was a bit of a lucky dip really. But what it did, a lot of drivers would accept it. Then study the job where it's going then after they've accepted it and then realise, I don't really want that one, so cancel. So then it affects the driver's cancellation rate and also the passengers stood at the curb a long time. So that's what I do like about it. It gives you a nice clear map. You can zoom in, zoom out on the drop-off pickup and the route and everything, and then it gives you the information similar to a one-to-one offer with the postcodes, the distance and everything, and obviously the price. So yeah, I do like that. But what I do find annoying is when it plays a TripRadar noise once you get a request, whereas before it just play it once for one request. If there were more coming in, it'd play me once each time the other requests come in. But what it does now, it makes a TripRadar noise, and while the offer's on the screen, it's just constantly making the TripRadar noise, which is so annoying. So really could do to tweak that so it just plays it once for each request as it comes on. And then also what we'd like to see in the preferences, maybe under where the area preference is to be able to maybe have a little toggle there. It says TripRadar on, TripRadar off. So if if you're like me, you're not very keen on it, you can just turn it off. So then all you receive is one-to-one offers, which I think would be great, really. When it's busy, you don't want to be mucking about pressing it. Oh, am I going to get that one? Oh, bollocks! Somebody else has got it. It's a bit silly, really. But yeah, if you could do that, then you just when it's busy time, you can just see all the one-to-one offers coming in. You can cherry pick until you find a cherry. Then you take the cherry, the profitable journeys, and life is good, as they say. So yeah, TripRadar. Why was it introduced in the first place? So if you cast your mind back, up until about, I think it was December last year, we had local cab option. So maybe some new drivers won't know what that is. So basically, in some areas, you'd have your Uber X, your Uber Comfort and everything, and then underneath it say local cab. So if the passenger clicked local cab, what it would do, they'd pay through Uber, and then it would send the job to a local base who will then do that job. And some of the passengers would use that if it was really busy on Uber X and it was saying it's taking forever, they could click on that and they get a car quicker. And another reason as well they introduced it was obviously after the pandemic there was a shortage of drivers because a lot of drivers left. Obviously, as you know, there's no shortage of drivers now. So in certain areas where there might have been short on drivers, by having the local cab option and having passengers being able to request through the Uber app, then the local company do it. It's a quick way of getting extra vehicles on the system available for their customers. So that's why they used it. The only thing I didn't like about it is quite often on the shorter journeys, the local cab option was actually cheaper than the Uber X. So in the area where I work, I know a lot of customers were actually picking the local cab because it might be 50p a pound cheaper, which it doesn't sound a lot, but if you're travelling to work back and forth twice a day, 5 days a week, it all adds up. So that was taking a lot of work away from us UberX wise. So then, once they stopped that, what happened then? Straight away, as soon as that stopped, they put the trip radar on. And what does the trip radar do? Why is it beneficial for Uber? Okay, so once the local cab option is removed, then obviously those people who request that are going to have to request UberX and so on. So you're going to get a lot more requests than you did before. So when you get those requests, you're going to get the surge quite frequently. Now, obviously, the surge is good for a driver because we make more money. It's good for Uber because they make more money. But the passengers don't like it. And as you know, Uber is focused more on the passengers than the drivers. It's always been that way. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So by putting the trip radar in place, when they remove the local cab, what that does is they're able to then obviously put the requests from some of the jobs straight to trip radar, or trip radar if the passenger's been waiting a while, and then it might send it, say, to 10 drivers all at the same time. They'll be all different prices because the algorithm knows which drivers accept low rates, which drivers accept high rates. So it's sending out maybe 10 drivers, and you're always going to get somebody who's going to click on it, even if the price is rubbish. You're always going to get somebody that will do it. So what that does, that gets the jobs accepted a lot quicker than if it was going from driver to driver as a one-to-one offer, and that creates what Uber describe as spinning time in the system. So it's the time it's going between drivers is spinning time, and that's the time the rider's waiting. So they've introduced Trip Radar to try and reduce that spinning time as such. So if you think about it logically, if they can reduce the spinning time, or at the time the rider's waiting, then that means we get to them quicker, we drop them off quicker, and we get available for his next job quicker. So what that does, in effect, a trip radar is a surge killer. So it's a tool what Uber use to actually keep the surge down, and it does seem to work. Unless like it's extremely busy, like there's an event on, or it's absolutely chucking it down. You might see some surge then, but that's why they use it, because they want to keep the surge low, or they want to get rid of it altogether in an ideal world. Even though they make big profit off it, they know the customers don't like it. But it's just one of those things. I don't know if you go to Toby Carvery, but in effect they've got sort of surge pricing. If you think about it, if you go in the week, it's cheaper. If you go on a Saturday, it's dearer. If you go on a Sunday, when there's more demand, then it's even more still. And same with flights. If the system sees a lot of people just looking at certain flights, it knows there's a lot of interest, so the system will automatically put the price up. So from a driver's point of view, I think the surge is a good thing. We do enjoy it once it comes. I mean, I myself, you can start rubbing your hands together when you see good surge, because as you know, Uber don't pay very well to begin with. So when we get the surge, it is an opportunity to get a bit of extra money in the pot. So that's why they use it. It's a tool they use to obviously keep the surge down. And also as well, I think the reason they do it as well is they want to create a FOMO, or fear of missing out. So what happens is, it comes up. It don't work with me because I approach it like as if I'm playing against the house at a casino, and Uber's the house or the casino, and I'm the poker player or blackjack player or whatever. So that's the way I approach it, as if I'm playing against the house. But you get some drivers, new drivers, they're just happy to accept anything. And then, like I said before, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, well, I have done really well today. I've made 180 quid, but then you might have spent 35 quid on fuel. But then you might have a guy who's done 100 quid and he's only spent £4.50 on fuel, £5. So, there is a difference. So they want to create a fear of missing out. So and especially I think that's why they keep that trip radar noise going, because it's like creating a bit of fear of you're going to miss out. You need to be quick. You need to be quick. So that's why they do it. And if you think about it, it's a similar sort of thing to say you've got a pack of hungry dogs and you get a big joint of meat. Say you've got 10 hungry dogs, you throw it in the middle of them all, and it's whoever gets to it first gets the meat. So that's how Trip Radar works. That's the way I think Uber approach it. So you're always going to get, even if you get these really, shall we say, shitty prices, ones like, you might be want to pay £4.50 and it's something like 13 miles total trip, right? I ain't going to accept that ever. But you're always going to get some driver who will accept it. And whatever drivers accept those shitty rates, it just lowers the bar, and Uber will keep sending those jobs out at those rates. So yeah, I mean, I only take jobs which are profitable. So most of the jobs I'm doing are coming in way, sort of like the bare minimum of what I will accept is £1 a mile. But most of the jobs pay a lot more than that. So that's what we do. So so it'd be interesting to see if they do actually take on board some feedback about the Trip Radar, us being able to actually enable or disable it and get rid of that sound. Because you quite often get these Uber surveys and what have you. So I think if you just put it in there, obviously they look at everyone, and if they get a lot of feedback from drivers saying they wish we could turn it off, then that'd be good. So we're going to see how it goes for the rest of the week. So I'm just getting used to this new Trip Radar. I will be honest, I have accepted a couple, and they were all jobs which were very profitable, really. Quite easy jobs to complete. Ones where the rider's just going to get straight in, no luggage, and they're just going to get straight out. So they're the ones you want, So we're going to wrap it up for now. But you can put in the comments your experience with Trip Radar if you think it's good, bad, or whatever. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll take it from there. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.